Hello again. Welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor of CropLife and CropLife Iron magazines, here again with Lara Sowinski. Lara, how you doing today?
Howdy, I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing fine. I know I'm sure you're not dealing with this in Texas necessarily, although based on your dress, it looks like you finally have heat in your house. But here in Ohio, we're getting lake effect snow, and it's a brisk 30 degrees with a wind chill in the 20s. It's I guess a typical mid-November day in Ohio. So
Mm, sorry, I'm missing it.
I can hear the disappointment in your voice.
Sorry, I'm
That's all right.
too
Well,
transparent.
okay. Well, speaking of disappointment, I guess one of the things we do have to discuss is I know, of course, many videos ago it seems now, but I guess it was back in September or so, we were all breathing a sigh of relief because we thought that the potential rail strike by several of the rail unions that was being threatened wasn't going to happen. An agreement was reached with some government help, and the rail carriers and the unions seemed like they were all headed for happy times and agreements, and everything was going to be a-okay. But since that has gone down, we have found out that although there were seven unions that did approve the proposed agreement, apparently two, and now I've read this morning, three unions have had their membership reject the proposed settlement. So I know originally the folks were talking about a potential strike on November 19th, which would be the date this video is actually airing. The good news there is, I guess they've still negotiating. So now I see a strike date being cited as December 9th as the new potential strike date. But again, Laura, I thought we were done with this rail uncertainty, but here it is again, rearing its ugly head just as we're getting ready for the holiday season. Not good.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And is those of you who may have been on the Alliance call this morning, that same topic came up in exactly how you framed it, Eric. Everyone thought we were kind of out of the woods, and lo and behold, kind of back um, in what may be a more precarious situation. And just as a companion to that transportation related strike, still no progress, real progress on the U.S. West Coast on port discussions between the longshore folks and Pacific Maritime folks. So not looking good. In fact, even as a indicator of how the market is responding to what looks pretty grim on both fronts. A lot of freight, I was just looking in the last few days, a lot of freight has been diverted. Again, that freight that can be diverted from West Coast ports to East Coast. Port of New York, New Jersey, last 2 months, big spike in freight. I believe Port of Norfolk, as well as Charleston, other big gateways on the East Coast that have definitely seen an uptick. Shippers who can divert freight are doing so, both because of the pending snag with rail and no conclusion to an agreement there with the longshore. So yeah, wish we had better news. I feel like I say this every week, huh?
Well, and again, I mean, like I say, I know that I saw a December 9th date for the rail carriers and their unions to come to an agreement before a strike would be called. And of course, it's as we said, it's only three unions, but from everything I've read, the other unions would probably honor the strike, so it would be a widespread strike. But at this point, the longshoremen, have they tentatively set any date by which they might strike, or are they just working, negotiating, trying to hammer something out?
No, neither side has come forward with, we'll do this or won't do this by a certain date. The only thing that has been forthcoming is that thus far they've agreed to continue talks, but these talks have been ongoing since May, so that's a long time to go without an agreement. And as I said, in recent weeks. I think maybe last week when I was talking to you or so. Every week that goes by without an agreement is actually kind of bad news to me. So I hope that we always hope for the best. I think for the shippers and those that might be impacted, the one kind of bit of good news is that because of the freight rates and the spikes and the sudden collapse of freight rates, at least on the water side of transportation, uh, shippers have thus far been successful at renegotiating some of the contracts they have with the steamship lines. So that built-in flexibility and such has allowed them to honestly divert this freight because in prior years when this has happened, shippers were kind of stuck. But right now, at least they have a little more flexibility in terms of their contract, so that's good. So if things do happen, at least it maybe gives them some options to move things around.
All right. Well, obviously, viewers, stay tuned for future updates and Retail Week moving forward. So, well, but I do have some good news on the shipping front, if
Yay!
you will, to share with our audience. Which, yes, let's cheers for that. I ran across an article that was talking about U.S. farm exports for 2022. I guess the fiscal year just closed a couple weeks ago, so they actually released the final figure, the total for U.S. farm exports for 2022. And I'm happy to report that for the year, $196.4 billion in U.S. farm exports went out, and that was up 14% from 2021. So that was good news. And it was also interesting, Laura. I know you and I had a video a while back where we talked about the top three export markets for U.S. farm stuff, and that was China, Canada, and Mexico. But what I didn't realize is just how much and just how important those three markets are. The article mentioned that
Mm-hmm.
out of every dollar spent on U.S. farm exports, 47 cents of that dollar goes to one of those three destination countries.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's kind of interesting. So if and for those who are interested, if you divide 196.4 billion in half, you end up with 98.2 billion dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that's going to just those three countries. So,
Mm-hmm.
but again, good news there that the number is 14% higher than it was a year ago.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that cross border trade with Canada and Mexico, which in large part, not surprisingly, is with truck. So when I hear things about the Ambassador Bridge, for instance, biggest trade bridge up north with Canada there, and going into Windsor, um, there's a new bridge just down river that they're building that's going to be open soon to accommodate that truck traffic and get things moving. Good news, of course. But anything that has to do with Mexico, and I know we talked about a pending ban on certain GMO exports, anti-dumping duties, whether it's on products that we send to Mexico or that they send to us. I mean, there is a lot that goes on day in, day out with that cross border trade. It's hugely important, as you pointed out, and um, never a dull moment in terms of
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
going on.
Well, yeah. One of these videos we'll have to talk a little bit more about the I guess the deadline or the stoppage of some of the products coming from the U.S. agriculturally into Mexico. I guess it's
Right.
a 2024 date is kind of
Yep.
what I remember reading. So, but we'll have to discuss that more in upcoming videos because yeah, it sounds like it could be a bad situation for folks,
Yeah. Hot topic.
especially those who count on yeah the U.S. farm exports going out of our country into Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one other thing I have to share, I guess on the good news side of things. Of course, this time of year, I'm always very busy putting together our annual rankings of the CropLife 100, the top ag retailers in the country, and reporting on their performance in the current year. And I'm happy to report in 2022 that it was a very, very good year for the ag retailers in the country. And next week, because it's Thanksgiving week, we'll be giving thanks with a special video, myself going over some of the highlights from the report that'll be appearing in our December 2022 edition of CropLife magazine and online throughout the month of December. But I'll also share tidbits with our audience on some of the facts we found from the survey that did not make the wrap-up story. But so yeah, tune in for that the day after Black Friday, and you will get some good information, hopefully, from me talking about how ag retailers did here in 2022, according to our survey.
Yeah, I found the results surprising as well. And I think you used the keyword wow, which, really does capture. I don't want to spill the beans on to what, the survey showed this year, but um, some good news and some important news. So we'll leave it at that. But yeah, we'll tune in on Black Friday. Get the scoop,
Well, the day
or,
after,
or the day.
actually, but yeah,
Excuse me.
actually, who knows? It may upload on Black Friday. We will see about that. But yeah, so again, from Laura and Sowinski and myself, we're both going to be at the end of this month in San Diego at the annual ARA convention. I know I had Darren Kopic on a week or so ago talking about that meeting. So if you're interested, since it's the 30th anniversary event for that association, please, look on the website to find out how to attend. And again, if you want to drop an email to myself or Laura, you can, and we can set up an appointment with you while we're there. Or if you just happen to run into us casually on the floor and want to say hi, that is okay too. We'll look forward to seeing you there. Well, Laura, guess it's that time. Time for your favorite segment of the show. Time for fun with numbers.
Every
All right,
time you say that, it's hard for me not to laugh. I'm ready.
I'm gonna throw you. I'm gonna throw you a little bit this week, a little bit of a curveball, because the
Okay.
number I'm gonna hit you with is not a percentage, not a dollar amount. It is a year.
Oh boy. Okay.
So your number is 2014.
Ready?
Okay. All right. So is 2014 the last time China's soybean imports were as low as in 2022? Is it B, the last time farm land values were as high as they are in 2022? Is it C, the last time the U.S. saw a lengthy railroad unions strike? Or is it D, the last time I attempted to go Christmas shopping on Black Friday?
I was waiting for something about your son. It's like, how is he going to weave that into this?
No, given
Wow.
when this video is going to air, I thought a Black Friday reference in the options would be
Okay.
appropriate. So,
I'm going to say B, the farmland.
Laura, I am so sorry. No, the correct answer is A.
Soy.
I know we were talking about U.S. farm exports and how well they did, but I was actually surprised that, and this was total. Apparently, Chinese soybean imports for
Mm-hmm.
2022 are as low as they've been in 8 years. So 2014 was the last time they were as low as they are. They were down 19%
Mm,
for 2021. Now, again,
okay.
that's coming not only from the US, but other places like Brazil, Argentina. Um, but according to the report I read, it said that high global prices for soybean and poor crush margins were
Mm.
depressing Chinese demand for soybean here over the last year from around the globe. So that is the answer. I'm sorry you were incorrect again.
Well, you know, in my defense, I was thinking about soybeans, and if you recall, the last I don't know how many, couple, 3 years, 4 years, 3 years. The Trump administration, USTR had put a requirement on China whereby they had to buy a certain amount of soybeans, and with that. So I was thinking, well, maybe they, kind of jumped on the stick and started importing this, but not so. So, God, that Barbie
Yeah, and
Bravate
again,
eluding me.
yeah, yeah, and again, as I pointed out, I mean, I don't. That item was talking about their imports from all over the
Yeah,
globe.
not
So I
just
mean,
Europe.
maybe their U.S. imports were stayed normal and they cut back elsewhere. But yeah, overall they were down 19%.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Laura. I guess better
Okay.
luck in 2 weeks when we're at ARA
Okay. I'll
in
set.
San Diego. So
Yeah, yeah. It'll be good to see you in person, and it'll be nice. This will be my first time attending, so I do know Darren. Thankfully, I've had a chance to meet him, but really looking forward to this show. So, yeah, we'll
yeah,
reconvene in
it'll be
San Diego. Indeed.
yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, to everyone out there, like I say, tune in next week for a special video. But in the meantime, of course, that one will be airing afterwards. So we will take this opportunity to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And if you, unlike me, are brave enough to brave Black Friday sales, more power to you. Best of luck finding all those good deals on TVs and VCRs and everything else people might have bought back in the day.
VCRs. Yes. Happy
Shows you
Thanksgiving.
how long it's been since I actually tried
That's
to
right.
shop on a Black Friday.
You gave it away.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, everyone. Hope you have a good week, good holiday, and we'll talk to you again soon. If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.